Scott Brown here. Throughout this home renovation, I've avoided using pocket doors.
Well, what about if we put a cavity slider here?
No, we can't, because we've got the post and the beam.
There's always a beam or a post. I mean, we could put a pocket door in that wall.
You can't put one in that wall. See, the shower's going to go here, but then the door has to swing somewhere.
Or the wall's already been framed up.
We'd have to build a second wall.
Or we're going to tile it. So you can't put one here?
No.
I'm beginning to think you're afraid of pocket doors.
Well, in today's exciting episode, we're going to face my fear and we're going to install a pocket door. So that's everything I need, is it? Okay, so the cavity slider, the thing about cavity sliders is the opening needs to be pretty much twice the width of whatever door you're putting in. And lucky for me, I have a beam that is more than twice the width. Yeah, it's a lot wider than what we need.
It's a lot of beam.
So we have a couple of things to consider. The weight sitting on this wall is the main thing, and there's a couple of components. Number one is the obvious one, the ceiling frame. Luckily the ceiling joists are running this way, so most of the weight is on this wall and this wall. But we do have a ceiling joist coming in here. See that one there? That goes along there, shares the load on that wall, so not too critical. And there's a little bit of ceiling weight in there, but it's not much. The main weight though, see that brace up there? So that brace there is taking some of the roof load and transferring it right onto the middle of our cavity slider opening. Little pro tip, when you're transferring down to a floor load, you go perpendicular to the floor joists. We've got floor joists running this way, so that block spreads this load over at least 2 joists. Sweet, more than strong enough.
You can put a spa pool up there.
It's totally overkill, but it's the beam we had. There we go, the beam's holding now. So our beam is literally twice the dimension. Just put that down there for a sec. This beam is twice as thick as it needs to be. If you're going to do this at home, you need a 140 by 90, but check with your local council first. Don't just go ahead and do it, especially if it's supporting a roof. We're going to get a building inspection. So that was a bit of work, and it's not to say that it wasn't worth it. We're going to move the door over anyway if we were going to stick with a swinging door, but that is a thing to consider if you're going to put a cavity slider in. There's a lot of extra framing. It's easier to assemble the cavity slider on the ground first, and then once you've assembled it, you can lift it up into place. I keep calling it cavity slider, that's just the most common brand that we use here. It's a pocket door. Alright, let's lift this thing up. Okay, so this is when you hope that you've framed the opening to the correct size, which of course I have, and then as a unit we level it out. So I always like to start where the actual pocket is, this back stud here, and get that nice and plumb, and then when I put it in I check the height, and if the height is out of level then I know I need to lift it. That's done, I don't need to muck around with that, I just need to lift it or drop it. So I like to put up a laser when I'm putting a cavity slider in to get the height level, and then I know that this end here can be fixed at the correct height. All I gotta do is plumb it up. Alright, so this is what the doors roll along, the little cars. So you chuck one, chuck another, and then that little slot that I just attached to the door, that's what slots into these. There we go. Another thing that I don't like about pocket doors, and why I avoid them, is this! You can't put insulation in here. I like to put insulation in internal walls for sound, and because this needs to move in here, I cannot. So with that little issue we came up with this idea, and that was get a solid core door. It didn't come with the cavity system. That might mitigate some of the sound travel between the rooms, but we also have another idea to do with the lining. And you can't see any nails coming through it.
No.
What do you think, Raymond?
About life, this room,
The cavity slider.
shit, cavity sliders.
Are you a fan of cavity sliders?
Now, what are we settling on? Pocket door or cavity slider?
Yeah, pocket door is the right word. Cavity slider is a brand.
Yeah, I mean, in the right place, everything has a function, right? And I was just, thinking, like, it's so smooth, right? Must be the local headquarters.
Have you ever thought to yourself, gee whiz, my website sucks? Well, today's your lucky day because Squarespace is a website building platform that allows you to build your online presence and run your business. Squarespace will make your average website look fantastic. And they do so by offering thousands of templates that have different styles to suit your different brand or whatever it is you want a website for. They have portfolios and galleries to showcase what you want to showcase on your website. If you want to sell products, they also have e-commerce built right into the platform. And also, if you already have a custom domain name, you can transfer over to Squarespace. And that's exactly what we did for ScottBrownCarpentry.com. We already had the website, transferred it over, effortless, and it's all built into Squarespace, and it's fantastic. But if you don't believe me, they also offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And then once you're ready to launch your own website, head over to squarespace.com/ScottBrownCarpentry, and you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you, Squarespace. That's like a noise line, right?
Yeah, so you were worried about you can't soundproof the wall because there's a big
Yeah.
cavity, right?
Exactly.
I thought if we put noise line on both sides, which is like a soundproof jib with a denser core, that might be the same as standard jib with sound beds.
And then we remembered, wait a minute, we have to put ply on here because this is a bracing element that we did earlier in the job. And that brings out the level of the wall. So to continue, rather than just packing the wall, did a whole layer of ply. And the same thing's happening on the other side. So not only do we have 2 layers of soundproof plasterboard, we have 2 layers of ply as well. So the final reason that I avoid using pocket doors, and allegedly I'm scared of using pocket doors. Look at all this, right? If I ever want to change this pocket door or do something to the pocket door, maybe something goes wrong with the pocket door, I've got to take off all of this, and the same is true on the other side. You're really committing to the door. Whereas for a regular door, all you have to do is pop off some architraves, cut the nails, and out comes the door.
On a normal hinge door, the older ones, sometimes the hinge gets tired.
Yeah.
And then, they start to open up a bit too much. And
Yeah.
all you have to do, swap the hinge over and you're done.
With this.
Well, here you got a rolling system that's gonna tire out at some point. And yes, you can unscrew these bits here. But
Access it.
yeah, but it's always gonna be...
Yeah, if anything happens to the track, and I've got nothing to base this on, this has never been a problem. I've never seen a cavity slider system fail. And if it's gonna fail, it's probably gonna be the little cars that are attached to the door, and you can replace them. But it's just the potential worries me. And that's why I try to avoid them.
Yeah. Scott's also worried about meteors crashing and all this potential of danger in the world.
My mum says I'm a born warrior.
A warrior?
Not in a good way, yeah.
Warrior.
Now the age-old test that you have to do on a cavity slider after screwing it in. Oh, there we go. Nothing. You didn't screw into the door.
Oh, day's not over yet.
Is that a fart?
No, there's a tap rubbing on my leg.
Sure.
So even though we can't insulate the whole wall, doesn't mean we should not insulate some of it. So this is a 90mm wall blend insulation. Beauty. Let's test the noise cancelling. So that's the bracing element, and we have to do them around the room as part of this renovation. We're really increasing the bracing of this house.
Nice.
You like it?
Yes, I do. It's not jamming exactly, but
What are you talking about?
Kind of have to push it a little bit at the beginning here? Or is it supposed to do that?
It might need some adjustment.
Okay. That's funny though, because that's one of the things you don't like about them, right? Is that things could go wrong. But possibly it just needs a handle, which we will get. But this is much better for the small room.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, a normal door would have opened out like this and would have whacked the corner of any bed that we had here.
Yeah.
So the other option would be to move the door, but then you lose this nice straight line. It also just is more satisfying to the eye. But no, I think this is great. The insulation works just fine. The door is good.
And I already noticed the sound difference.
That's more quiet.
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. Well, would you say you've overcome your fear of pocket doors?
I don't have a fear. I've put in plenty of pocket doors. I just avoid them for all the reasons that I just said.
Okay, well, if you're not scared, let's put one in the bathroom.
No, you can't put one in the bathroom.
Oh my God.
Because you got tiles on one side, and then, you have to pull the jib off, and then you have to pull the tiles off if something goes wrong. Imagine that. And also, that wall's very busy. And you've got a pocket that you have to put into a very busy wall.
All right, yeah.
Yeah? No? Well, I mean, I'll show you. Here, look at this wall.
Oh my God.
The problem with this wall is...
You're still scared.